Hi everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel. So today we're going to be doing something relatively simple, just some quick and easy nail art. So we're going to have some loose glitter, we're going to have some French, some foil application, all that fun stuff. So we're just including quite a bit of everything in this set. So I've already done the base colours just to save a little bit of time because we're doing something different on a few of them. So I didn't want it to be too long. So this one of these nude nails, these are both peachy nude by the way. The base colour is Gel Perfection, peachy nude. And then the other ones are this Blue Sky DC 45 colour, which is absolutely beautiful. As you can see, such a stunning blue. I've done 2 coats of blue on this one coat on this one, and 1 coat on this one, and then 2 coats of the nude on these 2 nails here. The reason I did 1 coat on the 2 blue ones is because they're going to be covered in glitter and I needed the tacky layer, and I did the base coats of like the base colours of these like a couple of hours ago before my first client, and now I can continue with the video. So I've left it, so I need to paint the second coat on. Because I've left them, they've got a couple of bits of fluff on that have just obviously floated through the air and landed on them in the last couple of hours. So just excuse those. So the glitter that I'm going to be using is this one, which is Mr. Blue from Sparkle Supplies UK. And I'm not going to be applying it on the wet layer like I majority of the time do. I've decided to do it slightly different this time. I'm going to be applying it onto the tacky layer, so it gives a slightly different effect. So I'm going to apply the next coat of the blue. This is such a beautiful colour. I really, really love this blue. I mean, I love most blues, but I really do like this one. And Blue Sky has quite a nice tacky layer, but I am still going to only cure it half at first and then put the glitter on and then cure it for the other half. I'm just going to make sure as well that I've covered the whole nail and not got a bit lazy and missed bits. So both of the nails that are painted just 1 coat blue are both going to be a full glitter nail. So I'm just painting the second coat on both of those, ready for that to be applied. So I've popped the other one in the lamp for 30 seconds, which is just a quick cure before I put this one in, and then by the time I've painted this one, that one will be nearly done. And then we're never just sat around waiting. There's no point like doing both of these nails then putting them in together, because I'm just going to be sat around. Obviously if it was on a person then you can't put one finger at a time, but you can with these tips and make the most of it. So that's just gone in the lamp. This one's just come out. Just going to open this up. I'm going to get the brush that I'm going to be using, which is the Tears Beauty Tubby brush, I think they're called. I've got loads of them. I absolutely love them. They're really, really good for a lot of things really, so definitely worth having. So I'm just going to apply this. I'm going to pop this underneath just in case I do manage to catch some. I'm just going to apply this on top. Now I'm not using my brush to pat the nail a lot when it doesn't have glitter on it. I'm packing the brush with glitter. As you can see, there's quite a lot on there. Just dabbing it in small areas, and then once I've applied the glitter all over the nail and just pushed it in a little bit more, once I've done that and it's all stuck, I'm then going to go in and scrape any excess, really making sure that it's rubbing it into the nail. Because if you keep tapping, I'm just brushing off the excess off my brush as well as I go along. And then once I've done pretty much majority of it, I'm just going to get a fluffy type brush just to dust off any excess. And then I'll pop this back into the lamp for another 30 seconds because obviously it is only half cured. Some people do only cure Blue Sky for 30 seconds, but it makes me nervous, so I do it for a minute. But that's this design, literally just some glitter on these nails. So I'm just going to do the other one off camera because I'm doing it the exact same way. I'm literally just doing these two the same, but what I meant was if you put a little bit, I'm not going to do it because it'll ruin it, but if you put a little bit of glitter on your brush and just keep trying to spread it out and dabbing it everywhere. If you keep dabbing areas of the nail without any glitter on your brush, like without enough to cover those areas, you're going to dab away the inhibition layer. And then obviously your glitter isn't going to stick to it and then you're going to be a bit stuck. So it's always best to just cover the whole nail in glitter first and then go ahead and start removing the excess. And then we're going to pop those in the lamp for 30 seconds again. So they are definitely fully cured, especially because it's glitter, so you want to make sure that the colour is cured through the glitter. And then we can move on to the next nails. So I'm just pop them in for 30 seconds. So next up, we're going to be applying some foil to this nail here. So I'm just going to get rid of the glitter now because I'm finished with that and it's just getting us in a mess. So let's just get rid of all that first. So for this blue nail, we're going to be using this foil here, which I'm really sorry, I have absolutely no idea where it's from, so please don't ask because I just can't tell you, I don't know. But we're going to be using this foil on this nail and also one of the French nail as well. So I'm going to create the French with the blue gel polish first of all. So I'm just going to get some of that on my palette. I'm going to clean my palette first to make sure it's nice and clean ready. Just clean that off. And then I'm just going to place some of the blue on here ready. That's a bit excessive, but never mind. Then the brush that I'm going to be using is the, let me just find it, the Bestie brush from Erin's collection. Actually, no, I am going to use that one. I found it quick enough, so it's fine. Right, so I'm going to do my French. Well, first of all, I'm just going to paint this blue nail with the foil gel. I do want it to be patchy, not full coverage, so I am going to apply the foil gel quite patchy. So I'm just going to apply it to certain areas, like not everywhere, because that tacky layer is still there on these nails as well, don't forget. So that will also help with some places not being sticky and some places being sticky and stuff like that. So I'm just going to pop that in the lamp for a full cure of 60 seconds while we paint this one. And then once this one's got the blue French on it, we'll be able to apply the foil gel on top of that. And then obviously we can stick the, what's it called, on top. So I'm going to actually matte top coat this. Well, I'm going to velvet top coat this nail, because then when it comes to sticking the foil to just the blue bit, it won't stick to the rest of the nail, and obviously we don't want that. So I'm just going to apply some velvet top coat to this whole nail and then cure it for a full cure. So we'll do this other nail that's in the lamp while we wait for this one. This is going to be a shiny nail in the end, so we will top coat with normal top coat at the end, but for now we're just going to pop some velvet on. And then we're going to use this foil for the patchy nail. I don't have a clue where this foil is from, but it's such a beautiful colour and it goes with this set really well. Well, we'll soon see if it does, but it seems like it's going to, fingers crossed. I'm just going to cut a bit off so it's easier to control. And then we're just gonna place it randomly on this nail so it's nice and patchy. Don't want any like really big areas of it at all. So I'm just really dabbing it on quite gently to make it patchy. This is the kind of look we're going for. It's not like a holographic foil or anything. It is literally just metallic blue, which is perfect because with the glittery nails as well, I don't want anything too crazy on these nails. And then once I finish that, that is what that one looks like, very effective. And then I'm going to go in with some stamping on top of this one, but not quite yet. I'm just going to leave it for a second. This nail is going to be the exact same way as that. I don't know why I didn't just put it in the lamp. It would have made a lot of sense, but never mind. So I'm just going to pop some foil meat on here the same way that I did that blue one that we've just finished. So again, just patchy, random places, crisscrossing over. Don't want it too thick, don't want it too thin. Won't stick to the too thin places and it won't stick to the too thick ones either. So you really need to make sure you find a happy medium. So we're going to pop that in the lamp for 60 seconds. Meanwhile, this one is ready. So I'm now going to do my French. So I think I want it about down, well, I want it like long enough for you to be able to see that it's foil. So I'm going to go about there, I think. And then I want it to start about here. So I'm just going to go from the middle to that point that I've just created. I've cut some stiletto tips, by the way, like cut the tips off to create this square sort of shape because I don't really ever do square nails on my channel on display tips because all my display tips are either stiletto or almond, so I thought it'd be nice to do something different, especially because I much prefer a French on square, well, not square, but any nails with a corner sort of thing. So here we are, but I want the French to be quite large on this set because it's going to be foil, and I just think the more French there is, like the more blue, the better. So I'm just painting that free edge. I am only going to be doing one coat of the blue for this nail because we're going to be covering it with foil anyway, but I just want a similar colour underneath in case there is any tiny bits. or if it's on your client and a little bit of the foil wears away when they're using them over the weeks they have them on and stuff, it doesn't really matter as much because there's a similar colour underneath, so it won't look bizarre. I'm just going to take it a little bit further down and make it a little bit slimmer. Yeah, I do prefer that side, so I'm going to do the same with the other side. It's really difficult for my phone to focus on this nail because the one behind it, which is obviously my nail, is very sparkly, so I am going to be changing my nails soon. Not that it will help because they'll still probably be sparkly, but never mind. So I'm just making sure that the French is how I want it and it's as even as I can get it. I do want it to come up quite higher than I did before. I'm just dragging that up, making sure it goes up to about the same point on both sides. And then I can work with the middle bit to make that even. Okay, a little bit more down here. Honestly, French drives my eyes crazy. Like, I look at it for that long, it doesn't even look right at all anymore. So I do have to just give up eventually and just stop messing with it, else I just get too carried away. I'm going to leave it about that, I think. That'll be fine. So we're going to pop that in the lamp for, oh gosh, I'm losing things, a full cure, which is 60 seconds in this case. And then while that's in there, I can apply my patchy foil to this nude nail, which is going to be very similar to, well, it's going to be pretty much the same as the other blue one that's got the patchy foil on. I didn't just want there to be one nude nail like with the French, so I thought, you know what, we'll do the same on this one. And then some stamping on top as well, and it will look effective, hopefully. There we go. Perfect. So that's our two patchy ones done. They'll be ready for stamping in a moment, but I just want to finish this French one first. So the French one is just in the lamp. So while it is, I'm going to bring out these glittery ones. I'm just going to use a slightly tougher brush to make sure there really is no excess, so my top coat is a little bit less likely to be contaminated with glitter. So I'm just going to give them a quick go over, get off all the excess, but not be too rough because obviously it's not actually stuck to the nail as such, it is just on the sticky layer, so you can swipe a bit of it off by accident if you're not too careful. But I'm going to use a top coat out of my drawer, if I can find it. One that's already a bit contaminated with glitter anyway, so I'm not too bothered if any glitter bits get in it. But I'm using the Madame Glam top coat just because I use it for swatching, so it's already a little bit glittery. So I'm just going to pop a generous layer of top coat over this nail. Make sure it's all nice and smooth. This is the joy of putting the glitter just on the tacky layer, as it is nice and smooth. It's not like sprinkling it over and having to make sure it's all flat, because it's definitely flat. You don't have bits of glitter on top of glitter, it's all just flat to the nail. And I'm just going to top coat this on as well. And then we can move back on to the foil French nail. Okay, so that can go in the lamp as well. And then in the meantime, this foil one is now ready. So we're just going to get some of the foil gel, which is Foil Me as always. I'm just going to get that on my palette. Make sure my brush is nice and clean, doesn't have any blue left in it. And then I'm going to just go over to remove the tacky layer of the blue. So I don't want that to interfere with my foil gel. And I'm just going to apply my foil gel. So I'm just making sure there's quite a bit on the free edge, like just for me to move it around. And then I can go along the line of where my French already is. Just making sure it's as close to where I've already put the lines as possible, because obviously I spent a lot of time messing about with those. Doesn't matter too much if the French isn't perfect, because you can remove any little bits that you want to, but I am going to be outlining this like smile line anyway, so it's not too much of a big deal. Well, actually I might put a bit of stamp on it instead, because that would be a lot easier than having to outline it. And this video is already considerably longer than I really wanted it to be. So I'm now just using that excess that's already on the nail that I applied earlier to drag around and fill any gaps that are not coated, making sure I get right down the side walls and the free edge. And just making sure that there isn't any really, really thick areas or really, really thin areas either. Okay, so I'm going to pop that in the lamp. So once that's out the lamp, I'm then just going to apply my foil. I've just cut off a nice fresh piece, just making sure my foil's nice and clean as well. I'm just going to place this over the top. Obviously, because we matte top coated that nude earlier, the foil is not going to stick to that, so that's good. And we're just going to apply that on top of where we've got the foil gel, making sure to put pressure everywhere. Dropped it. So fiddly using foil on these tips, but it's worth it because we love foil. So just making sure it's all nice and stuck. And as you lift it up, you'll be able to see if there's any bits that are not stuck, because when you lift it, the foil will still be on the backing. Okay, and that is what we are left with, which is amazing. So this is what our set looks like so far. I do need to just go and work for a bit now. I need to do my next client because she's due any minute, and then I will come back to finish off the set. We're just going to apply some stamping to all 3 of these nails, and then they're going to be done. Okay, I've reapplied the, what's it called, the foil gel and the foils, and also matte top coated this time, just so I can play around and see what I like and don't like, blah, blah, blah. So I have also decided that instead of doing a line around here, I think I'm going to add some crystals, because I've got some beautiful ice crystals from Sparkle Supplies UK that I think will go beautifully with this set, because they do like have a bit of a blue tinge to them, so I think they'll look really pretty. So my plan is I'm going to do this nail first, just while that matte top coat on top of them is curing, and then we can get back to the stamping. But for this nail, I've decided we're just going to place some crystals. So I'm going to have like a larger one in the middle, like down here, then going smaller as we go up, I think. So what I'm going to do is what I always do with crystals, which I might add is not really that often because I don't really use them that often, but when I do, this is how I do it. I like to just get them already like on something separate, not the nail itself, just so I can see what they look like before I place them on the nail. So you want like a large-ish one, but not something too overpowering, and then smaller ones either side. And then basically just get smaller as we go round. The only problem is there isn't any like really, really tiny ones of these within this mix. So they are just going to have to be a little bit too big on the side wall areas, but it's fine. We'll get past it. It's not a real person. It's not a problem. So I think that'll be about enough. But we'll Right, so once I've done that, I'm going to just make sure that they line up symmetrical, or at least as close as I can tell. So that's that, and then I'm going to cure that for 60 seconds while I do these other two. So while that's in the lamp, we're going to get onto this. I'm just going to pop these crystals away. So I've changed my mind on the plate. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use these snowflakes instead because I feel like they'll show up better because there's a bit more colour to them. So I'm going to use that and hope for the best. So let's give that a go first. I am also going to use white instead now, mainly just because I haven't done that silver line. Like, I know I've used crystals, but oh gosh, the crystals match the blue anyway, so it's not a problem. So I am going to use white stamping polish, which is originally what I wanted to do anyway, but I did end up changing my mind, didn't I? But I'm going back to it and see if we can see that much better. And then if not, it's not a problem because, like I said, I've put a matte base down, so it's not going to be an issue. I can remove it easily. That is much more visible. I'm much happier with that. So there's two different snowflakes on this plate that I really like. There's that one and there's one a little bit below it. I'm going to try that one as well. I have found these XY plates a little bit hit and miss about like which images are best and stuff like that. There is a couple that are just not very good at picking up. So they're always a bit hit and miss, but they're so cheap, so it's almost still worth it just to get the few images that do work on the plate for so cheap. So I'm just using the same snowflake that I used the first time again now for the third snowflake on the nail. And I'm going to leave it like that. I don't want it too crazy. In fact, I might actually go crazy with this one and put some little snowflakes on as well, like in the gaps, just to have a little bit different, because I usually do think like, oh, I don't want too many, but now I'm like, do you know what? Let's have a lot. So I'm going to use not those ones because they're not very nice. Going back to the original plate that I used, I'm using this bottom area here for these little snowflakes. So I'm just going to do couple of those. I'm going to try and pick up this one even though it's really tiny. I'm not sure that's going to work very well, but we'll soon find out. Yeah, very cute. So I'm using these ones here and I'm going to place one of them over here. I think probably that one in that corner. And this one over here. Oh, I've messed about too long so it's dried. Let's see if I can save it. That'll do. Close enough. And then I just want one more for here, so I'm just going to quickly grab another one. I'm not going to do both the stamped nails on the video because obviously it's very repetitive, so I'm just going to do this one and then we'll top coat together when I've done the other one. But that is how I am leaving this nail. So the other one's going to be the exact same. I'm going to pop some snowflakes on that one as well, and then we can come together to top coat those three because I have obviously already top coated the glittery nails, but I love how this set is coming together, so let's get it finished. Okay, so we're just going to top coat now, see how it comes together. Oh, I love this foil. It is absolutely beautiful. I do really love a metallic foil, to be honest. I don't use it enough, but I do really love it. It's beautiful. I'm just going to pop that on into the lamp, and then for this one I'm going to do it like in two halves. So I'm just going to flip it upside down and do this area. Top coating around the crystals but not on top of them. And if I do get any top coat on top, I literally just get a little like cotton pad, well not cotton pad but like cotton, no it's not even cotton, those lipstick applicators that I use, I just get one of those and just shine the top of them up to make sure there isn't any product on them. There's a little hair there that I don't want. And then I will top coat the bottom area where the foil is. If this was on a person, I would double coat the foil, but I'm not going to on this obviously because it would just be a waste, but I would have to do that on a client to make sure it was nice and stuck and secured. So that's that one. And then last but not least, we've got the nude nail with the snowflakes in the blue. I really love how these turned out, you know. Glad I changed from the snowflakes that were silver because they were naff. But it's all a learning curve. We got there in the end, so it's all good. I'm going to pop that into the lamp as well. And obviously we've got already our little two blue glittery ones. They are just beautiful. I love this glitter. And then I'll show you what they look like when they're all finished. So here is the finished set. I really hope with just a bit of like blue tack poking out under there. But I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching as always. I really love how they turned out in the end. And yeah, I'll be back with another video really soon. Bye.